Hey everyone, it's Sonia here. I came by to give you an update on something really huge that just happened in Canada this week, which was Justin Trudeau and the NDP collaborating on a confidence and supply agreement. My opinion, this is not good news at all. Justin just kind of made himself dictator for the next few years. It kind of seems like just another way for Trudeau to undermine our democracy once again, doesn't it? I'm not the only one calling him out on that. Check out Christine Anderson at the EU Parliament.
It would have been more appropriate for Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, to address this House according to Article 144, an article which was specifically designed to debate violations of human rights, democracy and the rule of law, which is clearly the case with Mr. Trudeau.
Regardless of the fact that we are attacking your fundamental rights or limiting your fundamental rights, and the Charter says that's wrong, we're still going to go ahead and do it.
Then again, a Prime Minister who openly admires the Chinese basic dictatorship.
Admiration I actually have for China, because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime.
Who tramples on fundamental rights by persecuting and criminalizing his own citizens as terrorists just because they dared to stand up to his perverted concept of democracy should not be allowed to speak in this House at all.
Mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont farouchement opposés à la vaccination.
Qui sont extrémistes.
Qui croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place. Et là, il faut faire un choix en tant que leader, en tant que pays. Est-ce qu'on tolère ces gens-là?
Mr. Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy. Please spare us your presence. Thank you.
Wow, they were clapping after that. I mean, she's not the only one who feels that way. I think a lot of Canadians feel that way too. I just want to let you know though, you guys know I talk about this, my C60 EVO, and I've told you before that it's great for my sleep. Well, I basically ran out. You see, there's only a tiny bit in the bottom. I'm keeping it for emergency. Without this, my sleep is like not restorative, and I could sleep a lot, and I'm still tired. But I thought it was also a good opportunity to let you know that, like, oh, hey, I just ran an experiment on myself. Didn't take my C60 for like the last 3 months, and I really feel the difference. I definitely have way better sleep when I take it. So if you're looking to get deeper sleep, I just want to let you know again, I do have a link for this with the discount code, and it really does work very well for me. And then I guess when I get my new bottle, which hopefully will be soon, I'll get back to you and let you know on how it's going. But if you're interested, check out the link below for more info. So let's talk about what happened in Canada. Breaking news! Justin Trudeau has found another way to trample our democracy. And here is how he sugarcoats it to you. So this is from Justin Trudeau's own website. And he frames this as delivering for Canadians now. Delivering what? Dictatorship? Thanks. Today, Trudeau announced an agreement reached by the Liberal Party of Canada and the New Democratic Party of Canada, delivering for Canadians now. A supply and confidence agreement. Oh my God. Just the names that they use for these things, it's so Orwellian. Delivering for Canadians now. No, it's delivering for Trudeau now. I mean, sure, the NDP is getting something out of it, but it's a bit like, you know, Trudeau's the one with the van, and he's the one handing out the candy to the NDP.
You like candy?
I sure do.
Great.
What's the catch? Oh, nothing. You just have to get in this van. Liberal Party and the NDP have agreed to improve the way we approach politics over the next 3 years for the benefit of Canadians. Bullshit. It's for the benefit of Canadians to have those checks and balances, like the possibility of there being a non-confidence vote, which Justin Trudeau has now removed. The parties have identified key policy areas where there is a desire for a similar medium-term outcome. No, the party, the Liberals, has identified key policy areas where the NDPs want a certain outcome, and so they're going to bribe them with that get them to agree to keep the Liberals in power until 2025, and then they'll get their candy. This work will be focused on growing our economy by creating green jobs. Oh, green! And fight climate change. Oh my God, this could be a good thing after all. You guys, we're going to fight climate change. You'd think that with nobody being able to afford gas now, that alone would fight climate change. Making people's lives more affordable with housing and childcare. I mean, really. Affordable with housing and childcare, right? Because now that you're all broke, now that they've ruined your lives, now they're going to give you something for free. Key details in the confidence and supply deal between Liberals and NDP. There they are, the happy couple. So much love in the air between those two.
This is how, collectively, as Canadians, we must get through the pandemic.
No.
This is how we will get through the pandemic together.
The NDP will not move a vote of non-confidence nor vote for a non-confidence motion during the term of the arrangement. That is a big deal. And parties agree to identify priority bills to expedite through the House of Commons. See, this is the part where the NDP kind of whore themselves. That they, I mean, look, you know, excuse me for saying it that way, but it's really, NDP wants certain things, and so they're willing to, put the Liberals in a position where they just have basically unchecked power until 2025 in exchange for some of the things that the NDP wants. There are two things that can topple a minority government: confidence votes and budget supply votes. The confidence and supply agreement is basically a promise by the NDP not to oppose the Liberals in those key moments as a way to keep them in power. Oh my God, you understand? These are the things that can topple a minority government. That means that if you've got a government that has a minority of seats in the House, such as the Liberals, and they're running the show really badly, there is a way to get them out. That is with a confidence vote, right? Or a budget supply vote. But with this agreement, it's going to nix both those things, which means that there will be no way to get them out, right? So then what is it that the Liberals are planning to do in the next few years exactly, that they're so worried that they might get kicked out, that they're going to rope the NDP into this sugar-coated deal to make sure that the NDP has their back, right? What exactly? What else are they going to do? What have they done in the last couple of years? They passed a lot of very bizarre mandates through the Privy Council, through the Governors in Council, which even Trudeau said trample on the Charter rights. And he said, and the Charter says that's wrong. And he knows it's wrong. And somehow he did it. And, there's been a lot of opposition to him. People are getting fed up.
This backroom deal disrespects Parliament, and it disrespects every single Canadian voter.
We can push back hard against this coalition attack on our freedom, may force a non-confidence vote and try to defeat the government and its coalition partner before the 2025 expiry of this deal.
This is a subversion of our democracy. Canadians didn't vote for a Liberal majority government.
Charest said in a statement, this coalition is further proof that the Trudeau Liberals govern for themselves, not Canadians.
So then we're screwed. Basically, this one important check and balance in our system that we do have, it basically doesn't exist. So for whatever it is that he wants to do or what he wants to spend money on, the NDP are not going to oppose him. I find that scary. In exchange, the Liberals adjust their legislative agenda to make room for some NDP priorities. There's the candy for the NDP. How is this different from a coalition? Coalition is much more of a formal partnership. If they opted for a coalition, NDP MPs would likely have seats at the cabinet table. Oh, so they don't. So that's the thing with the Liberals being the senior partner and the NDP being the junior partner. They say usually the junior partners are the ones that get the short end of the stick. So since it's not a coalition, the NDPs don't actually have any seats in the cabinet. and maybe expected to align on legislation. Exactly. So while they're saying, oh, but, you know, the NDP can still vote against whatever bill, but the fact is, it's sort of de facto that they're expected to align on legislation. So they've become an extension of the Liberal Party, you know, for all intents and purposes, which a lot of people would say they've been all along. So in that way, not much has really changed. And actually, if we look at what happened with the Emergency Act, when Singh even said he doesn't really think it's necessary, but in the end, all of the NDP was told to vote in favor of it. I mean, I know there was this whole thing about Justin Trudeau was taking it as a confidence vote, but there was nothing in the act that said that it was, that an opposition to it would be treated as confidence vote. But in the end, Singh, it's because of Jagmeet Singh and the NDP that the thing went through. So even there, even when they don't agree officially with what Trudeau's doing, they still support him. They're supposed to be an opposition party, but we all know that they're really just like an extension of the Liberals. We will remain an independent party and the opposition party. I don't think so. With the ability to hold this government to account? Oh, really? How's that? And to oppose the government where we see necessary. Well, let's hope that's true. I don't have a lot of hope. The NDP, with the confidence and supply agreement, the NDP and Liberals keep some of their autonomy. Yeah, some. Probably not very much. Less than before. I mean, you know, these guys, they've been a happy couple for quite a while. And the two of them are also young global leaders, so there's that. I think they've been on the same page for a long time. You know, again, the deal with this, if you want to read more about what confidence and supply is here on good old Wikipedia, the deal will keep the minority Liberal government in power until 2025. That's the biggest thing. That's what it really comes down to. So whatever is coming down the road for the next 3 years, whatever Trudeau does, he's going to get away with it. He will not get out. We're stuck with Trudeau till 2025. It might seem weird to Americans, but we just had an election. Why wouldn't we expect to be stuck with Trudeau? But the way our system works, if the government isn't governing well, like I said before, there could be a non-confidence vote, and there could be they could be kicked out, or the government themselves can call an election at any time for, you know, if they have some reason to want to call it. It's supposed to be 4 years, but it's possible it can be less. So when you're in a time like now where things are really iffy and you're thinking, well, we don't know how well the government's going to handle this, we feel more secure as Canadians if we know that there's a way out if they do a bad job. But now that's been removed. And here's some more of the sugarcoating that our media has been feeding us about this. Liberals agree to launch dental care program in exchange for NDP support. See, that's some of the supply on the, you know, on the NDP end. Like the Liberals are going to supply the NDP with some of the stuff they want. And they're pretty left, you know, they want a lot of these social support programs, which personally I'm not actually against stuff like dental care. It doesn't really make sense. We have medical care, and yet you can't get your tooth filled or even extracted unless you pay out of pocket. So to me, it's a bit odd. There's many things like that. Many medical services that are not covered. So, I mean, if you're going to have it, you might as well have that included, right? But the problem is there's more to their agenda than just taking care of our teeth. But this is what the media is telling us. If you hear it on the radio, they just keep, you know, saying, hey, this is going to be good because now we're finally going to get dental care. And, what was the other thing? Pharmacare. They're going to find a way to pay for our medications. The reality with that is that's probably going to take quite some time because it involves negotiating with the provinces. So this is the nice sugar on top of the cake that looks so beautiful, the icing and all the decorations that make you want to get into that cake. But then you're going to find out that that stuff is really, really hard to get through. It could take a long time to get through that icing. And then when you get into the cake, it's total garbage. That's what I think. Let's see what else they tell us here about how great this is going to be. We've agreed to work together. It's about focusing on what we agree on instead of on what we disagree on. Perfect example of a propaganda phrase. This really doesn't mean very much, and that's not the issue. The issue is that there is supposed to be opposition in the government. That's how our system is designed, and there's supposed to be the possibility of non-confidence vote. So making it about focusing on what we agree on instead of what we disagree on. You know, it's supposed to be an opposition. You're not supposed to just agree on everything. But this makes people feel more comfortable. It's a nice way of framing it positively in a vague way that doesn't really mean very much and doesn't accurately describe the situation. Oh, here's more propaganda. Oh, we're using our power to get help to people, says Jagmeet Singh. Right, that's the frosting, that's the sugar coating, it's your dental care. We're getting help for people that need their teeth fixed. Yay! We're getting help for people that need to buy their medication and can't afford to. Yeah, but, you know, on the downside, if the government is totally out of control, I mean, basically, if we get more of the same of what we've already had for the last couple of years, there's no way to get them out, thanks to you and your dental care. They have a lot of focus on the dental here. I guess that's what a lot of people are going to see. Like, as if this was the only way that we could get dental care. After all these years, this was the only way we could get it, was to give up that check and balance of being able to have a non-confidence vote. That's the only way to get dental care and pharmacare. I mean, to me, it seems like, you know, like fleur empoisonnée, you know? A poison flower, that is. Affordable housing. See, that's the lie that they're selling people on, is that the only way to get things like dental, pharmacare, affordable housing was to give up that safeguard that we had. What it comes down to, like I said before, is that Trudeau has found a way to ensure that he will stay in power until 2025, and I'm wondering, why is he so worried that he could get kicked out, that he would figure out a way to make this kind of a deal with the NDP to make sure that that doesn't happen? What has he got up his sleeve? That's what I'm really worried about. So there it is. Let me know what you think. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for supporting my channel on Patreon at patreon.com/thetruthorgirls. And thank you for checking out the link for the C60. This is my favorite stuff for giving me good, deep sleep quality, which I need. I'm really looking forward to getting a new bottle so I can have that good sleep again. So check out the link below for more info and a discount. And thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.